Hey, it's Birdman for Wheelchairs for Warriors. Here we are again, and getting the intro music to go on the board this time. I've got with me today Mr. Adam Bird. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you? I'm
doing very well. Now, you're with the Heroes Media Group, and why don't you just explain that to us? What is that exactly?
That's, it's a company I started in 2015. It started off as just a podcast network. I had been podcasting for several years prior to that and wanted to open it up to community heroes, law enforcement, firefighters, first responders, educators, military veterans, and then clergy. So it started there, and then it kind of morphed into, other things. So we do anything and everything podcast related, hosting, post-production. And then we, a few years in, we started a publishing arm, and we help authors write, self-publish and then turn their book into an audiobook.
Awesome. So, everybody thinks that podcasting started in 2015 for some reason, but in reality, thanks, Serial. But no, been around for way back, all the way back to 2005. So a lot of people don't even realize that. And not that there was a lot of places to put it back then, but luckily groups.
No, it's funny because back then I don't even think they called it podcast. I think it was like internet radio or something. And there was like maybe, I don't know. I didn't get into it until like 2011, 2012. Mm-hmm. And even back then there was maybe 3 places that you could host.
Yeah.
And this was like back in the golden day where like, if you wanted to go live, you had to do it on, Google.
Yeah,
Google Hangouts for
yes.
it to transfer. Yeah, to transfer, and then it would go live on YouTube or something.
Ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the term podcast, actually, 2006, iTunes introduced the interface in which you could upload to the iPod and distribute on the iTunes network, and that's where podcast. Actually, the term came from. They called it internet radio, and then a lot of it aligned with it until it finally just emerged as, and I think it was around 2010 is when it really started to become mainstream understood. And now it's just people confuse radio with podcasts because all the time they'll be like, oh, I listen to a radio all the time. And it's like, I'm not on the radio. Like I've been on the radio and I've actually, broadcast before, but it's like, oh no, I listen to your show on the radio all the time. Thanks. And you just move on because it's not even, it's too long of a conversation.
Right.
Yeah. That's like the other day, my wife said to me, somebody said, I do digital boards too. And they're like, oh, well, we saw your stuff at the hospital. I'm like, oh, cool. Thanks. And it's like, they don't have any, but it's okay. Because you saw it and you remembered it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you're at this point, you're just kind of smiling and nod.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you.
So you've been doing this. It's really cool that you have aligned it into, and you call it Heroes, and that's obviously what they are, into the group of individuals that help others. So when on your radar and how did Wheelchairs for Warriors come up?
Let's see here. I met y'all down in, when was it? Florida, right before the zombie apocalypse happened in 2020. So that's what I call it. Yeah. But we were at the Podfest, down in Orlando, Florida.
Yeah.
And I was speaking down there on a panel, and I ran into, I think it was Heidi was the first one I ran into, and we just started chatting, and that's kind of how it all started, how I became familiar with you guys' organization, and just followed each other over the years on social media, and then recently reconnected, and just kind of gone from there.
Cool. So what was your first impression, or what was your understanding of it? I wonder how much you've understood, or if you realized what you understood when you first met. What did you think it was when you heard Wheelchairs for Warriors?
My initial thought, without looking at anything and just hearing, you hear the name Wheelchairs for Warriors. Okay, it's an organization that helps get wheelchairs to veterans in need.
Yeah.
Basically, that was kind of my initial thought.
Did you have any understanding of what the wheelchair looked like in your mind, or did you?
No.
Okay.
Nothing. Had no idea, because nowadays there's different. I mean, there's so many different types of wheelchairs that are out there. So my I guess, kind of embarrassed to admit it, but my ignorant thought would be, it was just like a standard hospital, regular just hospital wheelchair. Somebody needs a wheelchair, they couldn't afford it, so they got one and we're helping them get it. And I don't think that's really the case.
So I was with you on that. And I also thought there was like those super lightweight ones that you see. They're easier to throw around and throw in a trunk and then get back in a car and stuff like that. I mean, So,
and that was kind of the thing. Like, okay, well, how many? I mean, and the other thing was like, how many different types of wheelchairs out there are there? Really?
Right.
And that was another one of those. I'm ashamed to admit it, but I'm admitting it. I just didn't know.
So when you finally saw one that they give away, how long did it take your mind to like reset and go, wait, what?
Yeah, it was kind of like one of those, like, holy crap, that's really cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, wow, that's okay. That's not what I expected. This is really cool, and those are some really nice wheelchairs.
So what do you think it means? And have you interacted with any of the recipients at all?
It's funny. I have to. I was looking at the those that have gotten them, and I'm cheating, and I'm looking on the website right now to see if I recognize any names.
Right.
Justin Reynolds rings a bell. TJ Williams is another one that rings a bell. Marco de la Rosa. There's a couple of names that look very familiar on here, but I'm horrible with names. I'm more of a face kind of person.
Yep.
So, if I've probably even met some of these people in person at one time or another, or have done an interview, whether it was me, myself, or through one of the other podcasts on the network. So I think all in all, I think what Wheelchairs for Warriors is doing is amazing.
Yeah.
And it ties in with my belief and kind of what I want to do. I kind of feel like my purpose in life now, I'm a little seasoned, is that it just help people get to where they want to go.
Right.
And this organization here is clearly doing that.
Yeah,
and I think it's pretty cool.
And not just with mobility, but also with their ability to be emotionally connected. I mean, I can't imagine. I can think about what it would take, but I can't imagine what it takes from you when you can't get up to go over and grab something. When we've all had that moment where we've been sick or something, and somebody's done something for us, and you kind of feel a little frustrated, like, well, I can go freaking grab a bottle of water. But imagine that, like, for everything. Can't pick up a pen, can't go over get this, can't go hug somebody, can't get somebody's attention because you can't move around a corner. All of that is vital to your internal feelings about yourself. So thank you for your support, first of all, for Wheelchairs for Warriors. And I guess you're going to be posting up a website and a page to redirect people here. And appreciate that. And they're going to come here and hear from the people that are, we're building this foundation with people that have supported this organization and started it. And we'll be moving in real soon into the people that are actually getting the benefit from this, the actual recipients.
Yeah. I think what it is that you guys are doing is great. And I'm looking forward to sharing everything that you guys do on our platform, and hopefully the people that visit Heroes Media Group, when they're on our website, they're going to be able to see Wheelchairs for Warriors and go to their website, get more information on your guys' website, listen to a podcast, follow you guys on social media. And it's organizations such as yourselves that I want to partner with that are doing good and really doing something positive for the community.
Awesome. Once again, that is Adam Bird with Heroes Media Group. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate that.